morning and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. Today is Tuesday, March the 16th, 2021. I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, Bonnaroo has announced a concert series to be held out at the farm. Coffee County Sheriff's Department has a suspect in the recent car burglaries. A tree was planted in Tullahoma, and local aldermen shared their plans for the city. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Now open in Tullahoma, Parkview Senior Living, an affordable, luxurious retirement community that active seniors love to call home. We encourage a healthy, independent lifestyle with few restrictions. Abundant amenities mean you live burden-free in a beautiful, safe home with other like-minded seniors. Still enjoy friends and family, along with your supplemental healthcare needs. See for yourself how wonderful retirement can be. Tour Parkview Senior Living today.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her. And now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
Welcome back. This morning, Bonnaroo announced a Concerts on the Farm series of shows happening on the grounds in May and July. This will be a socially distanced live music experience at the Bonnaroo Farm in Manchester, Tennessee. Live in-person performances from Billy Strings on May 28th, John Party on Saturday, May 29th, and the Avett Brothers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Tickets go on sale this Friday, March 19th at 10 a.m. Tickets are sold in 4-person pods, and there will be no on-site camping for the shows. Coffee County and Warren County Sheriff's Departments have issued a be on the lookout alert for a man they say is responsible for multiple car burglaries and thefts in Coffee, Warren, and surrounding counties. Jeffrey Michael Hodges is a white male, 5 foot 9 inches tall, 165 pounds, bald, blue eyes, born March 11, 1974, and is wanted for questioning by police. Police say Hodges is considered to be armed and dangerous and may be under the influence of narcotics. Hodges has allegedly stolen multiple firearms from vehicles along with several other items. If anyone has seen or has information about Hodges' whereabouts, you are encouraged to contact Coffee County Sheriff's Department at 931-728-9555. In other news, the final segment of our Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce virtual banquet is the Tullahoma Small Business of the Year, which the award was going to the Celtic Cup.
So 2020 was a really hectic year. And it didn't go quite as anyone had planned, and that was the case when trying to arrange the filming of our virtual celebration. We also had to pivot and transition to a new filming date, thanks to that wonderful ice storm that we got.
Yep.
And so, but we still want to talk about and celebrate our Small Business of the Year. So I'm not going to make you do a drum roll, but I'll let you announce it. Who is our Small Business of the Year?
Our Small Business of the Year for 2020 is the Celtic Cup.
That's right, the Celtic Cup Coffee House. And so I know that everyone at home is clapping and cheering. We are big fans of the Celtic Cup Coffee House at TACC. And, you know, so they are about to celebrate their 13th anniversary.
Exciting.
They made a huge investment into Tullahoma whenever they renovated that space, and continue to make improvements into their business. And I mean, you came into the office one day and made a note of all the different things that they have at the Celtic Cup. So
absolutely, in a year like no other, where safety is so important, it is exciting to see a business really take the reins and keep their customers in mind, and creating those ways that they can still enjoy the experience that the business has to offer, while keeping that balance of safety, and they don't compromise on anything. So that was really nice to see them invest in their infrastructure, invest in safety, and continue delivering the meals and the coffee and the experience, really. All the things that they do at the Celtic Cup Coffee House. It's exciting. It's exciting.
It really is very exciting. And so we have their award here to show all of you watching at home. The 2020 Small Business of the Year goes to the Celtic Cup Coffee House.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in the event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Welcome back. At last week's Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting, each alderman updated about issues important to them.
I'm going to start with, I had some concerns about the lights at some of the school districts and what time we're turning those on. It seemed like there was a lot of traffic speeding through there, especially on Country Club in front of East Middle School, and the kids trying to cross from Hood Drive right there. And we've had lots of speeders, and I believe the city, we are short on crossing guards right now. And so I spoke to Chief about that, and I believe you've talked to TUA. Chief, would you mind just kind of giving an update real quick on that? Because that was from a citizen, so I want to make sure that we let the whole city know where we're at on that.
Yeah, basically a request had been made to move the start time forward for the school zones. The schools that were directly affected by that were Robert E. Lee and East Middle. So we met with TUA and
got with MTAS, discussed a few things, made sure it didn't create any issues for us on that end, and everything was good. So we got with TUA, and they were more than happy to move the start time up for us. So that school zone actually, instead of starting at 7:30 in the morning, will start at 7 a.m. So.
Okay. So we have a 7 a.m. start time, and then we're gonna have rolling patrolmen, correct, at some of the other schools?
That is correct.
Okay.
We've got some of our supervisors that are going to be spot checking some of the school zones, and we've already had some enforcement measures that have occurred in them. So.
All right, awesome. So there was a couple of people who actually reached out to me, a couple of citizens, and I really want to thank Chief and Miss Moody for their diligent, quick efforts in getting that solved for me. So thank you so much.
The Get Fit Tullahoma, I want to talk with Miss Dunn, the trash size.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, that sounds pretty amazing. So I'm looking forward to having conversations on that. I've got kind of a thought in my head that I want to sit down with you and Miss Moody and just kind of talk about, make sure we're on the same page where that's going, and then plan kind of been reaching out to people who've been involved and want to make sure that they're still involved, and have kind of a brainstorming whiteboard session, because we're going to expand it from just the fitness to mental and social, and kind of encompass a health, not just a fit, but a healthy Tullahoma.
I am, along with South Jackson Civic Center, We're planning an Easter egg hunt April the 3rd at 2 p.m. And I was really trying to plan it on a different day of Glicken Woods. I didn't want to conflict. Do you know what time they're going to have?
Let me see if she let me know that. I asked her for more information.
Okay, just let me know.
Yes.
That Easter egg hunt is at 2 p.m. There will be prizes. There's going to be a guest appearance by the Easter Bunny that we're excited about.
10 a.m. Cernovia.
Okay.
It's 10 a.m.
Thank you. And I've also emailed the flyer to Dr. Stevens, and she has approved it to be distributed. Lyle Russell did a wonderful job on the Easter egg hunt flyer.
Well, on the consent agenda, we have a sort of an emergency appropriation for the pool heater, which, you click your heels and blink your eyes, and it's 5 or 6 years since we refurbished the indoor pool. Miss Moody, do you know how long it's been since that opened?
I do not. I'm sorry.
Well, I would say I'm thinking 3 or 4, and it's probably double that. It's probably 6 to 8, and of the pool heaters, I'm sure have a life expectancy. I would hope that they would be longer than 6 years or 8 years or however long it's been. But I know that we've checked to make sure there's no warranty or whatever. I hadn't talked to anybody about this, but I know. We had an indoor pool for years and years and years, and some of the upkeep and maintenance, we let that slide, and then we ended up having to revamp the whole indoor pool. I do not want to get in that same scenario if we can keep from it. So, the ones of the community that use that pool, they have to find some other option, go to Manchester, Winchester, or wherever when the pool is down, because it's closed because it's, unless you're a Eskimo or a polar bear, it gets too cold in there. So hopefully the pool heater will get here quickly. I know during COVID a lot of the parts and stuff are hard to get, so hopefully that we'll get that fixed, and our pool people will be happy.
April 19th, we're going to have a rain barrel giveaway. So that's April 19th. That's going to be at the farmers market. I hope y'all will come. We're going to have, this is through a grant from TVA. So they're paying for these, the kids. And then I spoke to a gentleman at the Coke bottling plant, and they're providing the barrels for us. So we're out no money as far as taxpayers that way. I'm really excited that that's going to happen. So we're just going to lead a workshop and talk to people about how they can use them. And we had spoken. I know I'd spoken with Butch and our city engineer, our environmental engineer, and asked, if every household that currently recycles also had a rain barrel. So we're talking about 3,000 households. If we each had a rain barrel, we would see a significant difference in our flash flooding issues that we've seen. And I know, gosh, was it 2 years ago? I know I was driving down Anderson Street, and I looked to my left on Grundy and saw a car that had washed into a ditch. So some of this stuff is going to be preventable. We are going to have the same amount of rainfall, and we have much less impervious material. We've got more houses in Tullahoma than we ever have before, more roads, and the rain's going to keep falling. So we're going to have to do something about it, and we need to empower our citizens to take on these rain barrels so that they can feel like they can take ownership of that.
One thing I shared on social media that I wanted to bring up today is that there is, through the Tennessee Housing Development Agency, I think I got that right, there is COVID rent relief, and it is a program that you have to apply for, and it is to give funding to those people who are in need right now because of COVID, to help with their rent as well as to help with utilities. So if there are citizens that are in need, this is a great place to go. It's through the state, of course, they're helping to fund this. So I recommend looking at that website. I know Tullahoma Housing Authority, thank you, Senator B, for getting that information, and for Jimmy for the Utility Authority, will be taking payments from that as well. So this is just something that I know that this has been a really tough last year. So please utilize that. It's there to help.
We'll be right back with more News Leader after these messages.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP.
It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. The Legal Aid Society of Middle Tennessee and the Cumberlands would like to make viewers aware that families and clients may have more food stamps on their EBT card than they think. In April of 2020, every enrolled food stamp household started receiving the maximum SNAP benefit amount for their household size due to the pandemic. This maximum allotment increase has continued to the current month and is renewed monthly. Unfortunately, the Department of Human Services never informed SNAP families about the increase. Unless families are in the habit of regularly checking their EBT card balance, they may be unaware that they have extra benefits on their card. Unused food stamp benefits expire after a year, so families may be at risk of losing these food stamp benefits. For example, if a person received $194 in food stamp benefits in April of 2020, but has not spent $194 since that time, these benefits will expire at the end of March of 2021. Unused May 2020 benefits will expire at the end of April 2021, and so on. Unused benefits will expire on a monthly basis. The Legal Aid Society of Middle Tennessee and the Cumberlands encourages everyone who receives SNAP benefits to check their balance to ensure they aren't at risk of old benefits expiring. Also in the news last week, Tullahoma's Parks and Recs Lyle Russell led Tullahoma's 24th annual Tree City USA ceremony.
I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about an award that the city of Tullahoma won. Trees make our small town a special place to live. They shade our homes, our businesses, and our streets. They clean our air, our water, reduce stormwater runoff, increase our property values, reduce energy costs, and make our neighborhoods greener, safer, and healthier. Today, Tullahoma celebrates its 24th year in joining 3,400 other communities across the country and being designated a Tree City USA. This program, administered by the Arbor Day Foundation, has been greening up cities and towns across America since 1976. It's a nationwide movement that provides framework necessary for communities to manage and expand their public trees. Tullahoma's first year was 1997, and we haven't missed a year since. So to qualify for Tree City USA, we had to meet 4 standards. We had to maintain a functioning tree board with regular meetings, which we are proud to say that we have several of those members here today. A community tree care ordinance, a city forester and a forestry program budget, and an Arbor Day observance proclamation event, which is today because today is Tennessee Arbor Day. Our trees are a vital asset. In fact, our green infrastructure is likely the only part of our city's infrastructure that actually increases in value and service over time. Tree City USA provides an outstanding framework for managing this important asset. So on behalf of the Tullahoma Tree Board, I'd like to thank our city leadership for their support for their support of our vital tree community resource and congratulate Tullahoma on our 24th year as Tree City USA.
Stay with us, more news leaders coming up after these messages.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
I'm Philip Bourne, Stan McNabb Detail Shop Manager.
Here are a few things our customers have to say about our service.
What I love most about the Stan McNabb Detail Shop is there's someone local that I can trust to pick up my car, have it cleaned, and deliver it back to me in showroom condition.
What really amazed me is when he opened the hood and looked like he had taken the old engine out and put a new engine inside.
We have several different packages and individual services to get your vehicle looking like new again. We're located just behind Stan McNabb Chevrolet dealership. Call today, schedule an appointment, and see what the difference our detail can make.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Welcome back. At the Tennessee Arbor Day ceremony in Tullahoma, Lyle Russell spoke to the crowd about the significance of the American elm tree planted at East Middle School.
It is Tennessee Arbor Day, and we have planted a tree. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about another one that this one came from. The original Liberty tree was planted in 1646, just 16 years after the founding of Boston, Massachusetts. Everyone traveling through Boston at that time would have passed by it, as the towering tree stood along the only road out of town on the corner of Essex and Orange Street. Though no measurements of it survive today, one Bostonian's journal entry described the old tree as a stately elm whose lofty branches seemed to touch the skies. The tree was 119 years old in March 1765 when the British Parliament passed the Stamp Act. In protest, a group of 9 colonial merchants from Boston nailed a copper-plate engraving to the old elm's trunk that said Tree of Liberty, marking the tree as a space and the space beneath it as a place of refuge from British rule, where all had the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In 1775, after the war broke out, Thomas Paine celebrated the Liberty Tree in a poem published in the Pennsylvania Gazette, celebrating its importance to all Americans. Unmindful of names or distinctions they came, for freemen like brothers agree. With one spirit endued, they one friendship pursued, and their temple was Liberty Tree. Finally, in August of that year, 4 months after the battles of Lexington and Concord, British troops and loyalists cut that tree down. The tree would live on in written word and as a symbol of freedom. The site of that original tree is actually now a playground. But about 50 feet from where that stood is a national landmark where in 2016, just 5 short years ago, a new elm was planted to replace it on the corner of the modern-day Washington and Essex streets in what is now Boston's Liberty Park. So in more modern times, if you look at old pictures of any tree-lined Main Street USA, in the first half of the 20th century, you're likely looking at the canopies of elm trees. American elms interwove on these stately the limbs interwove on these stately trees that would ascend into a towering canopy with a graceful arching beauty spreading horizontally and vertically, often exceeding 100 feet. Many streets were lined with these giants, which unfurled their weeping branches in a flower vase-like shape over the heads of passerbys, affording plentiful shade on hot summer days. There was no other tree quite like them. In the Netherlands, in around 1921, a wilt fungus started to show up in the sapwood on the elms. Over the next few years, elms across all of Europe were found to be succumbing to this fungus. Once it found its way to the United States a few years later, it was estimated some 300 million elm trees were afflicted and subsequently wiped out, leaving those old elm-covered streets a thing of the past. But thanks to tireless research of groups committed to saving the American elm, we now have a disease-resistant cultivar available to try and rebuild that population, such as the young sapling that you see over here to my right that we planted today. So that little sapling may not look like much right now, but once those roots take hold, we can expect it to grow from 3 to 5 feet per growth year. To give you some perspective, by the time that one of these outstanding JROTC cadets who are standing over here to my right graduate their 4th year of college, which will probably be between 5 and 6 years from now, this elm should be a little over 20 feet tall. When one of the 6th graders at West Middle School, back behind us even further, graduates high school, the tree should be around 30 foot tall. And at the end of those same students' college years, it'll be towering at around 50 foot tall. and that's only half the height of its 20th century predecessors. So in closing, as this tree you can see is now planted, I encourage all of you to visit it when you can. See its growth over the next few years, and one day, when your children and their children and their children's children play under the vast canopy of this old American elm, you can remember back to the day that you stood here to see when this little bitty elm twig that's sticking up out of the ground, Tullahoma's new Liberty Tree, spent its first day in the ground.
And don't forget to tune in to this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9 a.m., Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 6:30 p.m. Tonight's guests include Sharon Woodard, who will come by to tell us about the upcoming Miss Tullahoma pageant. Colin Sharan will come by to promote his new documentary film, and we'll have a representative of Horseplay to tell us what they have going on. All that and more on this week's Living. Stay with us. We'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
Now open in Tullahoma, Parkview Senior Living, an affordable, luxurious retirement community that active seniors love to call home. We encourage a healthy, independent lifestyle with few restrictions. Abundant amenities mean you live burden-free in a beautiful, safe home with other like-minded seniors. Still enjoy friends and family, along with your supplemental health care needs. See for yourself how wonderful retirement can be. Tour Parkview Senior Living today.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's going to be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor, too, when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this date. Our record high was in 1945 at 81 degrees. The record low was in 1900 at 13 degrees. The average high for this day is 61 and the average low is 38. Cloudy with rain moving in for tonight with a low of 54. Severe thunderstorms are expected on Wednesday with a high of 69 and a low of 55. And the storm should be moving out by Thursday with a high of 64 and a low of 44. And that's our News Leader Report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday evenings at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. for News Leader on 6. Stay safe and have a great evening.